All right, everyone, welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Saturday, June 4th, 2022. So we're doing our crypto update this weekend here. And really, a couple things have changed since the last video. So we now have another Luna. So Luna 2.0 already after the previous one failed. So just wild stuff here. Went all the way up to the 30 handle here on the IPO, or debut rather, and closed all the way down at 540. Got a little reflex pop here throughout the middle of the week, then kind of bear flagged down. And you can see here, outside of this candle here, it really is kind of following Bitcoin. So we had that pop, and then we kind of reversed it. Then we had this kind of inside, you're inside of this red bar here, bearish chop here, which is inside of a bigger green bar. But if you look at the chart of Bitcoin, it's really the same thing. The pop, then a roll over, and now kind of inside of that. So new Luna, Solana was also halted for a bug earlier in the week. And right now, what I'm seeing in the crypto charts is nothing really good. So we've been talking for quite a while here about how Bitcoin was kind of a leading indicator for the equity markets. That's really kind of changed. It's now starting to be a laggard, and it's honestly, it's very weak. So if we just look at the SPX, or here's the ES, you can see the nice move off the lows here. So really almost a 10% move. It was a 10% move at one point from the low to the high. On the E-mini, same thing with the NASDAQ, just a big surge off the lows. And then if we look at Bitcoin, it got a bid, and that's about it. I thought it would have moved a lot higher. Originally, I was saying, it could get a bid up to maybe 36, 38,000 would be kind of max upside. But really, we had a reversal in the middle of the week on Wednesday and just couldn't really hold this pop here. You had a nice pop, you put in a bullish inside candle there. It was poised to move higher, and it's just really negative news here. So we got the Solana halting for bugs. We had the Luna blow up, UST blow up. And then we had Luna 2.0, and that's, fallen flat on its face, basically. So really just getting a sector, the sector is just really weak right now, and nobody wants to be holding it if there's all these problems and bugs and, God forbid, like there's theft going on or something big like that happens, why would you want to hold your money here if it's at risk? Better to put it literally anywhere else where it's at least safe, and it's not going to get stolen or crashed or something. So this is, it's weak right now. The upside really for Bitcoin here is you still have this bullish inside bar. I don't even care about the other ones. The other ones are all weak. They've already, Ether's already lost this inside bar low. Doge, they're all weak. But as long as Bitcoin remains the leader, if Bitcoin can get a bid, Bitcoin is kind of the king. So it can take the troops and rally it, right? So the level to me here is 29,295 spot 86. So that is the low of this green bar. As long as that holds on a closing basis, there is a chance that you can have a move up. And I think max upside, honestly, is probably about 34,000. And that's, you got the 50 there. It is kind of minor because it has downsloped, but you got this big red bar here. It's just, it's a weak sector right now. And I know previously I've said that there's a lot of demand in this tail candle, which is true. When you come down, you put in a tail like that, there's usually going to be a lot of demand if you come down and retest it. The problem is the longer you go sideways like this and hold steady sideways, the more consolidation, the more of an army that you're building up to go attack this level. So the more minor it's going to become. So you see we went down here, we tested these pivots, we pierced through it, and now we're consolidating above it. So just like down here, we came down, we had a big tail candle and we consolidated, and it wasn't able to hold when it came down and tested it again. So the more you consolidate here, the more minor this becomes. And honestly, I can't really say much good about this chart. The macro is bearish. Now, again, maybe it can get a lift here. The positive would be everybody's so bearish. So just like we were talking about with the equity markets, one of the reasons why we were long at the lows, a week or two ago, is because everybody else was short, and that bore some nice fruits for us. So maybe that can happen with crypto. Sometimes when you get a bear market rally, it happens when you don't expect it. You don't even necessarily need to hit a technical level. It can just come out of nowhere. But overall, if this pivot goes, you know, Bitcoin's going to be down to 20,000 and possibly sub that. So I've been saying that for a while here. Got a big reversal pattern. You have a head and shoulder pattern here. The target is just sub 20. It's about 18 of this head and shoulder, and that is valid and it's intact. And you have this beautiful bear wedge here. On the weekly, you can see it even better. Look at that beautiful bear wedge. And then a nice move down. You know, again, oversold, got a bid off of that, but now it's consolidating bearish. So I, you know, just really don't like what I'm seeing here. If we look at Ether, so again, this you know, if this tail breaks, which it's, you know, it's down in that lower end, you know, you're going to be looking at these pivots down here around 1300. That was where that's going to be your next major support here. And after that, you know, there's not, I mean, you got this big, you know, previous high here, but there's the problem when you just go parabolic like this and you don't build support is when it comes down just as fast, if not faster, because there's no support area. You know, you're gapping up and just surging up. So it could have a lot of real estate on the downside if it gets going. Doge here, you know, same deal, consolidating above these pivots here. You know, it's trying to take out this area here. This was the big breakout. You know, these things can go a lot lower if they lose these areas. So Polkadot here, touch that blue line, and then, you know, after that, you know, this thing can fall off of a cliff as well. Litecoin got into this area here, and then after, you know, if it were able to, excuse me, let's put these lines back on here. Sorry, not this one. Here we go. So if it pops through this, if it gets through this 63 area and these pivots, it's really down to this white line. So that was your previous breakout area, consolidated there, pushed through it, back tested it. That would be your next level. And that's a long way down. So, you know, these things have a lot of real estate on the downside here. XRP, you know, same thing. So there's your pivot down there. And then you've got, you know, if you get through that, it's all the way down to this area where you bear flagged and reversed. So that's going to be all the way down near, you know, 30 cents or 32 cents. That's a big move. Solana, you know, this one was halted here. You know, here's your areas here. We talked about this level. We got a pivot there. We're now testing it. You know, you got these levels here, these lower pivots down here is previous breakout area. It's a long way down. Cardano, you know, holding up a little bit better. This one's actually holding up a lot better than pretty much everything except Bitcoin. But if it loses this pivot here, you know, you're really down to this, you know, this previous breakout area. So show you that on the chart here. It's really going to be kind of in this vicinity. Right, so that was your breakout area. And there it is down there. So we got a lot of real estate on the downside. You know, and again, I know this is an uber bearish take here, but that's what the charts are suggesting. And, you know, Bitcoin and crypto have had these types of corrections before. So don't rule it out, especially if equities continue to trend lower here. You know, again, after a potential ABC move up in the spiders, there could be another bear phase coming up. So Riot here, looking at this one. Also, you know, it's holding this area, but you're below, you know, you're going sideways. You're below all the moving averages. You're chopping sideways in a downtrend. You know, you've got some levels down here at about $4. That's probably where it's headed. If it breaks through that, Marathon, same kind of thing. You got a level at 5. If it gets through that, it's pretty much close to 4. MSTR, you know, holding up a lot better than some of the other ones. You know, it is making higher lows here. This one trades a little bit more with the Nasdaq than it does with Bitcoin on a relative basis to the other Bitcoin and crypto equities. But again, this pivot down here, I mean, this will be $100 equity pretty soon. So again, really bearish take overall. I get that, but you know, these things can happen. I mean, you're going down, you're in a downtrend, you're chopping sideways. And I know previously, like I said, I liked this for a bounce here, but we should have seen a reaction by now. This should have gone up here, hit the 20, put in a higher low, and then made it run at 38, 40,000. That's kind of what I was expecting here, but we've just been getting so much negative news in this sector. And, you know, everybody's skittish. Nobody wants to put, you know, why would you hold something that you could wake up and it's zero tomorrow? That's what we saw with Luna. You know, we're seeing Solana halted, so there's fears there. It's just a really sticky situation here right now for the market. Anyways, guys, to wrap it up here. Hope you enjoyed watching it. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts and analysis, and I will talk to you all later.